What if I told you the most powerful people in the world don't have more money than you? They just understand the law better. Yeah, let that sink in. Welcome to Beyond Redaction. I'm your host, the Pretty Law Plug. Now, have y'all ever seen legal documents that has this black shading over it? Think the Epstein file, like. That's called redaction. That's when information is hidden, removed, or kept from the public. But on this platform, we're going beyond that. And we're uncovering a story. This is just not a podcast. This is a movement. But before we get into cases, law, real life situations, I need to tell y'all who I am. I'm not a person that spent time around lawyers, grew up in a legal atmosphere, has a law degree. Nah, I'm quite untraditional. I've worked real jobs, had real life challenges, even life or death situations, and faced my shares of ups and downs. But I learned early that people that understand law, they function better. Actually, the society and the world we live in was actually built on the law. People that understand law and understood law avoid problems easier. They communicate better. And most importantly, they don't get taken advantage of. And me, I hate being taken advantage of. So I've made a decision. I'm going to learn law and I'm going to master it. So instead of waiting until I become a lawyer, I'm taking y'all on a journey with me. Back in 2022, I was at my mom's house, broke, depressed, no clear vision, no idea what to do next. And I remember looking up the guy and saying, what do I do? What do I do? And I remember he responded back, go to law school. And I thought, law school? I never thought of that. Like, I never even pictured myself as a lawyer. And not because I wasn't smart or intelligent. I've always been that. But more so because I didn't know any lawyers. I never saw anybody that looked like that was a lawyer. They wasn't in my atmosphere. Shoot, my parents didn't even go to college. So me as a lawyer just seemed so far-fetched. But it was something about the way God said go to law school. I believed it. And once I heard that, I couldn't unhear it. So I started taking the steps necessary to go to law school. I enrolled back in college. I had only like a year and a half left. I finished that in 1 year. However, it still took me 3 years to take the LSAT. And so I took the LSAT and I failed. Yo, I got such a low score, I don't even want to mention it on this podcast. And it kind of depressed me and deterred me. And so I started looking into alternatives. And somehow, some way, God always led me back to law. And so I signed up for the June LSAT. And if y'all wondering what an LSAT is, it's just the law school admission test so that I can get in law school. There's a lot of people out there who look like me, have come from where I come from, and never consider spaces like law. But not because they can't do it, because they never seen it done. So this right here, this is not about me becoming an attorney, but this is about how it looks in real time. Not a finished project, not perfect, but real time. The process, the setbacks, the ups and downs. So if you ever feel like you didn't fit in, good, because neither did I. But I'm walking into it anyway. We kicking doors down with Beyond Redaction. Let me tell you something that might hit a little different. People don't get in trouble because they're criminals. They get in trouble because they don't know the law. People sign contracts without reading them. Businesses get started without protecting them. And talk to police without knowing their rights. And when things go left, it's too late. That's not just bad luck. That's the lack of legal literacy. And legal literacy is power. When you understand contracts, your rights, how wealthy people structure deals, you can stop reacting and start moving more strategically. Now, let me get into something I like to call a legal reality check. This one, we take real life situations and we assess them. When you get pulled over by the police, a lot of people think, well, let me just explain myself and I'll be good. That's not necessarily true. You actually had a right to remain silent. You don't have to answer questions that could incriminate you. And you can ask, am I being detained or am I free to go? That one sentence alone can change the whole interaction. And that's the difference between moving off emotions and reacting like a lawyer, thinking like a lawyer. And that's what we're going to do. But let me be clear about what this platform actually is. Beyond Redaction is for you. It's where law meets culture. If you never understood legal language before, you will now. We're talking celebrity cases, hip hop, politics, having law guests, having lawyers, your favorite attorneys, maybe your favorite rappers on the podcast speaking all things law. We're going to be talking about the stuff that people don't want to talk about, the stuff they don't explain, because behind every redaction is a real story, and we're going beyond that. Let's be very clear. This isn't just content. This is a community for people who want to move smarter. So if you ever wanted to protect your money, avoid unnecessary problems, or just think differently, you're in the right place. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. You follow me everywhere right now at Beyond Redaction. And you send this episode to somebody that you know that's always in a situation. Because at the end of the day, they can hide the paperwork, but they can't hide the truth forever. I'm your host, the Pretty Law Plug, and this is Beyond Redaction.